Meghan Markle and Prince Harry went to Homeboy Industries. It's an organization that provides support for former gang members and previously incarcerated men and women. Father Boyle, who is the founder of the organization, in 1988. So yeah, I'm doing this quick little segment because Harry and Meghan went and visit them, and I never knew about this program. Let's see what this video says.
The poet Wallace Stevens writes, "We live in the description of the place and not in the place itself. We want to live." Today, Homeboy Industries commemorates Juneteenth as a paid holiday, celebrating that slavery ended 155 years ago. We stand with Black Lives Matter and fully recognize that the freedom promised in the Emancipation Proclamation has not yet been fully realized. In the Gospel,
Alright,
Jesus says,
so you guys could go on their website and check the video out. So it begins in 1988 as a way to improve the lives of former gang members in East Los Angeles, has today become a blueprint for over 250 organizations and social enterprise around the world, from Alabama and Idaho to Guatemala and Scotland. The Global Homeboy Network is a group of like-minded organizations committed to impact the lives of those in the communities. So you could click here to learn more about it. So these are all the areas that I guess they're located at: Sweden, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Argentina, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. So they're pretty much a lot of places. So yeah, let's look into it. And I guess if you want, you could go and donate to them.
we're 30 years in existence here at Homeboy Industries.
We had the largest concentration of gang activity anywhere in the world. There are 120,000 gang members in LA County, 1,100 gangs. And now we're the largest gang intervention rehab reentry program on the planet. So 15,000 folks a year walk through our doors.
We always represented an exit ramp off this violent freeway. So it's an illusion that, by locking up more people, that it brings you safety. And whatever benefit there is in that dwarfs in comparison. It has this foreverness about a cycle of damage to kids and to relationships and to marriages and to communities.
I've been to every single prison in California. I've been from Pelican Bay State Prison, Corcoran. I've been to all the higher levels, and then I work my way down to the lower levels. And it's nothing there that helps you rehabilitate.
What if we were to invest in people rather than just try to futilely, mindlessly incarcerate our way out of this problem?
It's an invitation to infuse hope to kids for whom hope is foreign and help heal the damage.
Tattoo removal.
Tattoo removal.
Tattoo removal is a change of life.
The first tattoo that I removed was my gang tattoo. It had been there for so long, but I was ready to do it, and after I done it, it felt good. At first it was kind of like, oh my God, I'm taking this off. But then I was like, yeah, because it's no longer who I am.
I went through all these classes.
Substance abuse classes, the anger management. There was a leadership class.
Legal services, GED,
Job resource.
Pathways to college.
domestic violence, NA, AA.
Computer lab.
I started taking parenting classes. First I started taking them because they have free food. And all those tutors, they don't give up on you. They want to drill you every morning before you had your coffee. It was real hard.
It's helped me become the father that I always wanted.
The secret sauce here is the place, is the community, is the environment, is the extravagant tenderness that people encounter.
I never thought about 401k. And he showed me the whole breakdown of a 401k and how you can start saving and everything for the future. But now that you're saying that, yeah, I would like something like that. No wonder these white people keep their shit straight, huh? Because they got a 401k. Now I'm a homeowner. It's 3 years out after doing 18 years in prison.
You could go hiking? I thought that was for white people.
They get trained in the job while there. So for instance, you'll look down, you see people in the bakery, or you'll go to a Homeboy Recycling or a catering or a cafe. And so they'll get training from those folks who are working in those fields.
I got certified to drive a forklift.
My goal is to be an electrician, and they offer a service for that, a class that helps you with the math part of the test.
Father Boyle went on TV to speak about Meghan and Harry's visit to the center. So here it is.
We celebrate here at Homeboy Industries kinship, which is connection, this exquisite mutuality. There is no us and them, there's just us. And boy, did they dive into that. They were just completely anchored in this sense that we belong to each other. And so their interests, their curiosity, their questions, it was really quite probing. At one point, Harry asked one of our workers, a woman, how did she come to Homeboy? And she said, well, through the father of my son. And she burst into tears. And Harry looked at me and I said, he was killed last week. I'm going to bury him this week. And Harry just immediately threw his arms around her and held her. It was so tender and it was so compassionate. And she was so feeling the kind of the rawness of it since it had just happened. But he responded, immediately. And it was a testament to his goodness. People were immediately vulnerable with him and with her. And her Spanish is quite good. At one point, there was one of the girls in the cafe who Spanish was the dominant language. And Meghan just went into Spanish, which was a revelation to me. And it was, somebody came up to me and said, listen to her, her Spanish is really good. And then I ear hustled at the other end of the table and her Spanish was good. So that was something I didn't know, that she knew how to do it. I wouldn't say we did this correctly. We were kind of Harry and Meghan from the gate. When I was on the phone with her, she goes, well, Harry's going to join us in a minute, so it was very informal. And, so I don't know. And so people weren't so much addressing them as engaging them. And again, not many people knew about this. We had, it was sort of a need to know just to keep it under wraps. But our folks there knew, I'm not sure they even knew who was coming to visit, but they knew somebody special was. Well, I've been in conversation with Meghan. She, when she was 20 years old, she and her mom came here for one of our tamaladas, where our chef at the time would, offer these classes to teach you how to make tamales. And she and her mom came, I think, twice. And she's a graduate of Immaculate Heart High School, so she was very much aware of, social justice issues. And of course, when she was graduating, we were well on our way and established as a place. And and then she and I have been in phone conversation to kind of talk about currently what's happening in our country and a response. And then after that, she approached us and asked if she and Harry could come and just pitch in. It's funny, we have a kind of Immaculate Heart connection. She went to school there. Her kind of most formative teacher, Maria Polilla, we dated in high school, so I've known her forever. And so there was a connection there. I know she had just spoken as a surprise commencement address speaker at her alma mater, and I had just done their baccalaureate mass. So there was kind of a connection. And so we talked about Black Lives Matter, because that was, at the time we spoke, was her, that was a thing that was really quite pressing, protests in the streets. And so she's very attuned to, obviously, to the sense of systemic racism in every corner of our culture and our country, in healthcare and jobs and housing and homelessness and the criminal justice system. So she doesn't need to be brought up to speed on those things. She's someone who will bring the rest of us up to speed. And so